Wellington Rugby TV, Ross Bond with you again. This time we're going to head back down to the grassroots of our game, down to the junior level. I've been joined in the studio today by two well-known Marist St Pat's stalwarts. You've been around long enough, you two.
Becoming one, I think.
Yes, I'm joined by Mick Joyce, we'll come to you in a minute, and Martin Paget, who's the junior convener at MSP. Mick, you're sitting here, this is all about you today.
Apparently.
You are the first Wellington Rugby Union Volunteer of the Month. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you very much, thank you. Yes.
So this is a new initiative brought in by Wellington Rugby, recognising those who volunteer, give up their time through our club system. Anyone within the club can nominate anybody. I didn't mean that anybody as anybody. I mean just, anyone that's done an outstanding job in their club. 33 nominations. You are the number one. They've recognised, Wellington Rugby have recognised 10 people though, so that's going to be for the next 4 months. So congratulations. You're numero uno.
Yes.
Bit of a surprise?
Huge surprise, yep, huge surprise. So, no, Martin nominated me obviously, so no, thank you very much, Martin.
Pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, you don't do it for the nominations or the prizes, but yeah, it's nice.
So you must be doing something right. What did you do? What does the CV look like?
Gear man, I do the gear, registrations, coach, bit of everything really, just where it needs help, fill in.
How long have you been there?
Since my boy was 6, he's 12 now, so 6 odd years, yeah, so.
And you got into it because?
Because kids, but then I'm a Marist man anyway, so Marist through and through, so I played for Marist when I was a young fella, so nowhere else to go.
What do you enjoy most about it?
The kids, pretty much, yeah. It's a hard work. I mean, there's it's a bit of to and fro, but the kids and seeing how happy they are at the end of the day, and if we weren't there, they can't play. So it's well worth it. Well worth it.
You sit back and I guess you see a whole lot of kids that have gone through in 6 years. So if we do the maths, huge numbers. Any of them that really stand out to you? Any of them you think, yeah, he was one of the little guys that I took an orange out to at half time, or I gave him his first jersey?
Yeah, there's a few I could. Yeah, and you do notice the difference in abilities of kids throughout the years, and you do some just stand out head and shoulders above some. So I'm hoping once they're all blacks they can. Look back
Throw some names
coach.
in. Throw some names in.
Les Solomon Vaka, he's he's played for me years ago, but now he's been in the under-13s for the last 3 years because he's an outstanding player.
Yeah.
So there's a few others. I'm trying to think now. There's been so many kids come through. I'm trying to think.
Even the likes of little Max Reynolds.
Reynolds,
one of the smallest
exactly,
guys on the field with the biggest heart. Will take down the biggest guy every time, and speedster and knows the game well, reads the lines even from a young age. You see those sort of guys come through, it's pretty impressive.
We had Bradley Milisawa, who's now sadly gone to Australia, one of the quickest swingers in Wellington.
Yeah.
Work out how to get him back.
Yeah.
Coaching, or what's the thing that gets you out of bed on a Saturday morning? Is it just looking after the kids in general, or is it coaching a specific team?
Yeah, actually I still coach the under-12s.
Nice.
Just getting out and seeing how they can develop really. It's just, under-12s is quite a different grade from the rest of them, so it's where they start really developing and it's a full-on game. So, it's just getting out and seeing the other coaches actually half the time, and because you've pretty much gone through all the grades with all the other coaches, so it's good to see them all.
What's your advice to someone if you bumped into someone walking along Lambton Quay and they said, I'm thinking about my son's going to play rugby next year, should I get involved? What do you tell them?
Yep, get into it. The way I got into it pretty much was Martin got my boys' team together and said, we haven't got a coach, who wants the coach? Someone gave me the old nudge in the back and I was, okay, yep. And he said, the guy who nudged me said, oh look, I'll help you out. I've never seen him again. So, so basically, put your hand up, don't be shy, because it's well worth it. I mean, it is quite hard and you overthink things, but don't just get into it, and there's people to help you out, and there's plenty of resources, so no worries.
Fantastic. Martin Paget, you've been junior convener at MSP for 7 years.
Indeed, yep.
How did you roll into this?
I was asked to help out with the team back when my eldest boy was under 6, so that's coming up 14 years ago. So coached probably for about 12 years following that, so that's what got me involved. Had a little bit too much to say about the running of the club and what we could do to grow and to improve the coaching and ensure that's a really enjoyable environment for the kids. So that nominated me to get on the committee and soon took on the convener role.
Hard yakka? Hard yards?
Can be, I'll be honest. It's certainly registration times. They're the times when you're really trying to get everyone on board and kids to come back from the previous year, getting new kids involved, forming the teams. But that's where the help of Mick and others on the committee really make it all work.
Hear a lot of things about a whole lot of, I guess, alternative options that kids these days have. And a lot of it it's about sitting in front and doing fortnighty things or whatever it is they do.
Yes.
We noticed diminishing numbers, or are you holding your own?
Yeah, we're holding our own at the moment. There's been years where it has dropped off a little bit, and certainly there's a lot of options out, not just fortnight. There's a lot of other sports that are growing well. Biking, basketball's a big one growing at the moment as well. So, look, it's keeping it an interesting sport and predominantly for kids, keeping it fun.
How do you do that? How do you keep it interesting?
You've got to keep it in. You've got to work with your coaches. You've got to help them realise that, of course, you want to have a win, but actually it's about the kids having an enjoyable experience. If they're not having fun at the end of the day, they go off and they find something else to do. So we've got to keep it positive, got to keep it fun.
Interesting, Mick said, he was in the back of the room and sort of half put his hand up and got pushed forward. People come forward willingly these days, or do you have to go out and shoulder tap and say, hey, look, we need someone for the under 6s, the under 7s and the under 12s?
Definitely more the later.
Okay.
You get a couple come in, they've obviously had it in mind as they're probably come from the sporting background. And I guess that's one of the big learnings too. It doesn't really matter if they've come from a rugby background or a sporting background or actually even a non-sporting background. Anyone that knows me growing up wouldn't be putting a sports badge on me as first pick, but actually it's the love of the game and just the love of seeing kids grow and develop. So, but in saying that, you're definitely having to tap them on the shoulder more often than not. But
do you feel supported? And you mentioned before that you support from the club?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, through Martin, definitely. Yep. Over the years, I mean, he's unbelievable how much work he puts in. So. Yeah, I mean, and that's what you do. You need to wrap around from everybody, and that's. I mean, you do it because it's the right thing to do.
Correct.
Because if you don't do it, the kids have got nowhere to play. So it's just
nice.
it's well worth doing.
But we are also in an environment where people are busy, and I think they worry a little bit about what's involved. But the reality is, the more they get involved, then the easier it becomes, right? Because you all work together and lean on each other.
Best memory?
Probably wouldn't say it's in the convener role, probably more in the coaching.
Yeah.
And probably one little fella who's playing with his older brother, who's probably only 4 years old, and be running around aimlessly for about 5 or 6 games. And then finally he ripped a tag.
That happens at Prem level too, by the way.
I see that more recently than I would like. Not at Prezzies.
No,
we'll get to you.
But finally ripped a tag, and the crowd cheered, and it was like the lights went on. He suddenly realised, oh, that's how it works. And seeing
Classic.
that's just a little example of those learnings when a kid gets it and you see them get it and suddenly take their game up to the next level.
What's your
Great to
youngest
see.
at MSP in the juniors?
We've got a 3-year-old playing under 6s. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, with his older brother. That's probably been the encouragement.
Yeah.
And the artificial turfs don't have daisies to pick anymore, so they actually have to have a go at the game.
You
mentioned before about Prezzies. You're still running around?
Trying to, yes. Yep. We're more walking around the middle of the field,
right.
Yelling. So, I still love getting out there and get all the worries out from the week and on to the opposition players, basically.
How long do you go on? Is this a
I want to keep playing till Lucas can play with me. So he's
nice.
12 now. So he's, maybe when he's 18, it's another 5 years. And then that'll be the boots will hang up. And the
boots will hang up.
Yeah, the missus will be stoked.
Trade me.
Yeah. So I don't think anyone wants my boots. Tell you what, there's hardly any studs on them now.
How long are you going to hang in there?
Well, I've got my youngest coming through and finishing a junior club this year, going into college.
Yep.
So no doubt I won't
They'll
be
have
able
your
to,
number too, you realise?
Well, I'm guessing, to try and avoid the calls.
Yep.
But, so no, I can still see myself participating to some extent in rugby, but probably keep myself a little bit more tightly involved in my son's team.
Fantastic. Righto, boys. 3rd round, Jubilee Cup. We'll start with the top one. OBU MSP. This is starting to get pretty desperate for the boys in red here.
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm just stating a fact.
How many rounds? When's the first round?
They've lost 2. They've lost 2. You lose 3, she's a big road.
MSP all day.
Righto, at Nenville. Righto. I knew you wouldn't get any.
You've got it.
Hard Old Boys Mara Stories.
I'll go to the Maris Boys again.
Righto.
Yep.
Sorry, boys.
Paniki Tawa.
Oh, jeepers creepers. Do we have to even talk about it?
Kilburnie.
We'll go with the home team. I'll go Paniki.
Yeah, I might.
Because otherwise you won't get past the club rooms and You know, if you say it's tailwind, they'll probably notice you.
Well, there is that. But I like to differ with you occasionally.
Well,
so
that's-
I'm
well,
going
most
down the
times.
tail
This
road.
is a bit like registration at the start
Yeah,
of the year
that's
between you
right,
two, isn't
exactly.
it? We're right onto it, right?
Fingers
Northam
right,
got the
I'm
bye,
agree.
good. Hardham Cup,
Northwind then.
Johnsonville Paraplum.
Oh, I'll go Paraplum.
Okay,
I'll enjoy the same decision.
okay. Avalon Wainui,
Yeah, everyone is it?
It is.
Fraser Park. Yeah, we'll go the Wolves.
okay. The Axman Petone. Hi Tai Tai.
Again, I'll go Eastern Suburbs team. I'll go Wellington. Yeah.
Yeah, I should remember where I live, but I'm going Petone on that one.
Righto, very good. And Upharder got the bye. Righto, big one on Saturday night, Forsyth Bar, third test, France All Blacks. We have 15 on the field for
You
most of the 80
You
minutes.
sure?
Yeah, that's the decision, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
hopefully.
Who's the ref?
Don't know. One of them
One of them.
from last weekend.
Who's
Mixes
first
it up a
five?
bit,
Mix it up.
Who's first five?
Don't know that either. Too
Don't
many
know much,
questions.
do you?
No.
It's going to be Richard
Come on,
Moanga.
hurry up. Just
If
pick
it's
some.
Moanga, we're 30 points. If it's Mackenzie, we're 15.
Righto.
Yeah, I'm going with about 25 points.
Okay.
ABs.
Righto. Good work. Thank you,
Hope to
boys.
be there.
All right,
Nice, thank
Martin
you.
Paget, the junior convener at Marist St Pat's. Mick Joyce, MSP through and through. The winner of the first Wellington Rugby Union Volunteer of the Month for May. As we say, an outstanding initiative coming from the Wellington Rugby Union. If you want to nominate or throw names in the hat, you can ring Mila Pator at the Wellington Rugby Union and just send them through. Recognise the people that do the hard work in your club, because we need them. Without them, you don't have a club. Ross Bond, Wellington Rugby TV. See you next week.
Thanks, Ross.